Hello, Mount Zion family and friends. Thank you for stopping by to watch this video. I wanted to just take a moment to give you another update of what's been happening in the life of the church. It's already May, and it's really hard to believe that we're in this place where we're not only looking forward to what the summer is going to be, hopefully a wonderful summer for you, but really thinking about the fall and even already beginning to work on the plans for Christmas. But before we get there, I just wanted to let you know that in the beginning of this year and throughout this 5 months of the year, Mount Zion has been doing a lot of wonderful things. Our congregation has continued to be engaged in ministry, and it's beginning to feel in some ways a little bit more normal, as if the world is not only recovering from a crazy pandemic, but that also we're beginning to wake up and engage in the things that we were doing. And so, as you can see on our website and on the list of activities that come up on your bulletin, or as you're part of the worship service, you see that, again, we're beginning to retake some of the things that made this congregation not just active, but activities that were very meaningful to us. But the update I want to give you today is, you may remember that this past year in 2022, in September of 2022, as we were trying to discern and pray and think about what God wanted us to do for 2023, the leadership of the congregation decided to have a church council retreat. And in this September church council retreat, where we spent a Friday and a Saturday talking, praying, dreaming, and discerning, at the end of the retreat, we came out with 4 very specific areas of work that we wanted the congregation, the leaders of the congregation, and the congregation in general to get immersed and to begin to pray about what that would look like as the way we will focus into the future. And so out of those 4 areas, I'm not going to go into all of them. There's one that I want to give you specifically an update. One of the areas that the leadership decided that we needed to explore is this idea that as a church, we have been given this wonderful and amazing facility. I don't know if you have noticed, but our church has a wonderful building. We have an amazing parking lot. We have an amazing green area and an education wing and many classrooms and many things that we have been blessed so that we can do ministry. But the question was not, do we have it? The question was, is there a way that we can use our facilities, our building, the facilities that we have as a way to do more ministry and engage in ministry with other partners who may want to also do work with us? So as we were discerning and talking about this amazing building that we have, there is one particular space in our facilities, in our building, that needs to be used more, or at least there's the potential to do something else. As you already know, the pandemic was really hard in many different ways, but one particular space where the pandemic has been particularly hard, not just for us, but for many congregations, is the engagement with young people, with the youth, and in some ways with children. You remember we started this pandemic by isolating and not even being able to be in person. And then we moved into this online world. And then a lot of things began to happen. But one thing that has been really hard is for those families who throughout this time have been really working hard to keep their young people engaged in school and in other activities. It has been really hard for our congregation also to maintain that in-person connection and continue to further the ministries of Mount Zion. And so one place where we have felt that lack of connection in some ways has been in what used to be a parsonage, and what in the last few years, many years, it has been the youth center. The youth center, although has been used, it has not been stopped being functional and a wonderful place to meet for Sunday school and other activities. Since the pandemic, it's been really a place that has been underutilized. It is a place where we haven't been able to gather the way we were before. So as that space was brought up to the leadership of the congregation, we began to wonder, is there something else as we continue to figure out how to grow our youth ministry, as we continue to figure out how to engage with the youth in our community, in our congregation, as we continue to do the hard work of discipleship them, and as Carol continues to work with amazing volunteers and trying to be creative and figure it out, can we do something with our youth center that has been underutilized? And out of the many ideas, there was one that really caught the imagination and attention of all of us. What if this space that it was originally designed to be a house can be in some ways be used as a house again, not as a parsonage for me yet, maybe in the future, but to use it as a house in a community, in this space, in this county, in Howard community, in Howard County, where we know that housing is very expensive, that the rent is really high, that we have people who are struggling to meet the demands of paying the rent and allowing the families to have enough food and money to pay for the rest of their expenses. Could our house become a place where a family could live and be able to sustain their immediate needs and continue to thrive in this community? And so that idea began to percolate among us, and it led us to begin a conversation and potentially a partnership with this nonprofit that functions here in Howard County called Building Bridges, which originally was started by members of this congregation. And the whole point of Building Bridges is to provide housing that is affordable so families can live in Howard County. And so out of that, we have this group of people from within the leadership who have been working really hard since September, doing research, finding out what other churches are doing, talking to the people of Building Bridges, and we are making strides. And together with the trustees and this group that came out of the retreat, we are beginning to see the possibilities that our parsonage might be able to be used to provide housing, affordable housing for people who want to live in Howard County. We're still in the process of discerning what that looks like. We still have to go through some other processes within the conference because we have to ask for permission. But I just wanted to share this idea that even if it doesn't happen, I just feel that this kind of communicates how this congregation has continued to be creative and engaged in the needs of this community, and how we are looking at the resources that we have as a blessing that needs to be shared. One of the things that we know as people of faith is we are called to be stewards. And stewards is not just, a once a month sermon series of sermons where we ask you to give money, but stewardship also has to do with using the resources that we have and share them with the community generously. And in this case, this building, this house, it's a resources that it is underutilized, but it can also become a blessing to people who may need it. And we are willing to explore the possibility of sharing it. I will keep you posted. We will keep you posted. We are still on that stage of talking to people, talking to the conference, and trying to figure out what this ministry is going to look like. We still have to cross a lot of things, and we still have a lot of things that the trustees are trying to figure out. But I'm feeling encouraged because, again, this is just another reminder, another proof of how this congregation continues to evolve, but most importantly, continue to be generous with the blessings that we have received so that others might be able to know the love of Christ through our generosity and charity. This is all I wanted to share with you. There are so many things that I could tell you. I could spend 3 hours just telling you of all the work that has happened throughout this year. I can tell you how wonderful we continue to grow in terms of our worship experiences, the online presence, the ministries that are happening with the youth and the children, the Sunday school. There are many things, but I just want you to be encouraged, to continue to be praying for the work of the church, to continue to see where you might fit in what we're doing, so that you also might be able to share your blessings, your ministries, your gifts in this congregation so that more people may come to know the love of Christ. I hope you have a wonderful summer, and I'm looking forward for the work that we will continue to do together. Blessings.